Well, thank you very much and good evening and welcome to the Council Committee meeting of the Town of Petawawa for January the 10th, 2022. Good evening to everyone. Just before we get into the actual meeting, I want to say a few words about a very special person that we lost. And I want to just, on behalf of members of committee, council and staff and the community as a whole, to Edna and Molson and the family, our deepest sympathies and condolences at the loss of Fred Molson. It's difficult, I'd have to say, to define Fred Molson. Fred has been an icon and a very special individual to the town of Petawawa for over, nearly 60 years with his skiing program at Mount Molson. I think it's fair to say that once in a while, a community has a very special individual that helps to define a community as such as Petawawa. And one of those individuals was Fred Molson. For over, as I say, 60 years, Fred has seen thousands and thousands of kids benefit from his generosity and his volunteering on that Molson Hill, the shortest downhill in the world, 7 seconds from top to bottom. This program put thousands of kids into skiing and into the national and international program and has continued to this very day. And some of whom, I think it's fair to say, through Gary's Sports and Entertainment Committee, have been recognized for that particular situation. Fred and Edna are one of a kind. There's no question about that. His passion for skiing was sensational. He is, in fact, a legacy. I was a recipient of that for my kids who went there, and then their kids went there. I think children in the 60s, then they grew up and had children, they went there, and their children are now going there. It's unfortunate just because of issues that it actually passed on and was not able to continue that program. One of the things that was always very special about that, no kid when they went there, regardless of who they were or what they were denied a cup of hot chocolate or a hot dog, regardless of whether they forgot their money, had their money, or whatever. I think one of the greatest things that we had there was it was sometimes described to me as the best babysitting service on a Sunday and a Saturday afternoon. You could take and drop your kids off there, go and do the groceries and come back, and they were completely safe with Fred. Fred worked the tow rope at the bottom there, and I could tell you one story that I remember. I was there at the time where he stopped at 12:30, came up for a hot dog, or 2 hot dogs and a hot chocolate, and Edna charged him $4 for that. She said, there's no way he's getting them for nothing. Interestingly enough, he actually supplied the hot dogs and the chocolate to the shack. So, but nonetheless, it's a sad day for the Molson family, but also a very sad day for us here in Petawawa at the loss of Fred Molson. I know that he was recognized as a builder in Petawawa, and a builder he was. So again, just to close up, to Edna and the family, our deepest sympathies and condolences at the loss of a great person who had Petawawa in his heart. So he certainly will be sorely missed. With that, I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest in any of the matters before us this evening. See none, no presentations. Fire Department activity report. If I could, the Deputy Chief, if I could get you to present the program, or your report, I should say, for December.
Thank you, Your Worship, and good evening, members of council. I have the activity report for December. Starting with incidents, we had a total of 8. We had a fire alarm on Petawawa Boulevard on December 11th. That was due to a sprinkler that had a leak. The crews responded and then called in a sprinkler technician to correct the issue. We had a structure fire on December 13th at Petawawa Boulevard. The crews responded for a report of flames exiting a roof from a construction site. On arrival, the construction workers were able to partially knock down the fire with a portable fire extinguishers, and then our crews went in and suppressed the fire and brought it under control. The fire was due to hot works, but there was no injuries in the structure, sustained minor damage. We responded on December 14th to Bedard Boulevard for a structure fire. The report came through as heavy fire coming from the front of the structure and from the roof. It took about an hour for our crews to bring the fire under control. There was nobody hurt, but unfortunately 6 animals perished in the fire, and the fire displaced a family of 8. The Ontario Fire Marshal investigators, as well as the town of Petawawa fire investigators, conducted the investigation, which is currently ongoing. Ontario Hydro, Enbridge, OPP, Garrison, and Renfrew County paramedics all attended the scene. On December the 13th, we responded for a gas leak on New Street. We couldn't find anything with our monitors, so we recommended that the owner bring in a gas technician to further investigate. On December 15th, we responded for a mutual aid call in Laurentian Valley for a structure fire for a tanker, but while en route, our crews were stood down. On December 15th, the crews responded to Highway 17 and Beeline Road for a 3 motor vehicle incident with 2 vehicles versus a transport. Our crews did extricate 1 patient who was transported by air to hospital. The crew returned to station. December 29th, we responded for a call on Goodsman Road, another motor vehicle accident, but we were there for suppression and minor fuel leak, which we contained. And on December 17th, we responded for a CO alarm, and it was due to a low battery. For fire prevention activities, we didn't have much through the month. Our chief fire inspector conducted a suppression test on a building on Victoria for a kitchen system. We conducted some minor inspections with some local businesses, training our new trainees, fire prevention inspectors. And on December 13th, our chief fire inspector attended St. Francis of Assisi for pizza that was won from the Rona and First Alert during Fire Prevention Week and the CO Awareness Week, and met with the school and took some photos of the winning class. And there was just other minor inspections and some administration that was conducted. For residential smoke alarms and CO alarms, we had a total of 7 that were inspected, and we brought the year to an end with 292 homes that were checked throughout the year. For open air permits, we ended up with a recreational fire permits of 859 as of January 1st. And that's the number was adjusted due to some people who have some residents that moved out of the municipality, and some that didn't get their recreation fire permits renewed. For training, our crews did in-house training, which they reviewed some of the bylaws like open air bylaw. They did some training on some OGs and smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm responses. For maintenance, we just had some minor repairs. We had a scene light that was installed on one of the apparatuses. Our new washer machine was installed at Station 1, and a issue with the septic tank, which we had a blockage, was pumped out and corrected. And the chief did attend on December 1st the Renfrew County Fire Chiefs meeting at the Pembroke Fire Hall. And that concludes my report for December.
Thank you very much, Deputy Chief. I'll open it up for questions of committee of any comments. Murray.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Greg, Mr. Mayor, this is just a comment more than a question. Greg, please pass on to the whole firefighter squad. December was a challenging month and great effort and support, community support by the whole department there. Good response. Thank you.
Thank you.
Other comments or questions on the report? Seeing none, then I need a motion to accept the report, please. Murray, seconded by Teresa. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. With that, then we will go to community services. Nothing further for the fire department. So community services. Good evening, Kelly.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. community service activity for December under admin services. A couple references there to the Town 25th event. First one, we have connected with Ed Schultz, JP2G, and inquired about him providing his services to do design and engineering work in terms of the legacy project. And he has agreed, and we're currently awaiting a cost estimate from him on his services. And as well, I did apply for a grant through the Commemorate Canada Reopening Fund, which is a federal grant that came out back in December. And I've submitted a grant application for just a hair under $50,000 to help offset costs associated with the event. And if we're successful with that grant, then we'll be able to offer all of our activities free of charge, and which is a stipulation of the grant. So I'm not exactly sure when we'll hear back from this grant program, but anyways, the application was successfully submitted, and we're in a waiting game. In terms of COVID and the community services operation, so council members are probably aware that the facility is currently closed. We had on Monday, January the 3rd, the province instituted a modified step 2 process in terms of restrictions, which we've been through before. About a year ago, we were in step 2. And so right now our facility is closed until January the 26th, at which time we'll find out if they will end the restriction in terms of step 2 or continue it for a longer period based on how we're doing with Omicron. I will note though that the library in this modified step 2 is allowed to be open, so they are open with regular business hours. The Rotary Room, being a meeting space, cannot be opened as per the regulation, but the library is open with regular operating hours, and people are coming in each and every day to access the services there. I'll also report, and I think most council members are probably aware, but the Ontario Winter Games has been postponed. That decision was made last week, and it's been postponed until 2023. So as you can probably appreciate with any large size event like the Winter Games, you can't leave things to the last minute in terms of planning and organization. And you know, I'm sure the organizers there got to a point where you know, they just couldn't hold off any longer in terms of making some kind of a decision. So we'll look forward to participating in the games in a year from now. It was probably the right call given where we're at in the pandemic, and you know, we look forward to hopefully coming out of the pandemic and being able to host a wide open games, pandemic free of restrictions, etc., in 2023. And then just lastly, under administrative services, I'll point out that our Indian Diamond renaming project, the public survey aspect of that project, wrapped up on December the 20th. We received 43 responses altogether. And currently, we're awaiting response to the consultation that we had with the Algonquins of Ontario. I'm hoping to have that probably the very early part of February, within the first week. And then, you know, we'll prepare a report as per what's been agreed to by council to the state, and I'll get it on the following committee meeting for discussion. Under tourism services, you'll see we're very busy working on the Water and Dirt Festival. Colin did presentations with staff from the 2 communities that I've identified in the report, Laurentian Valley and North Algona Wilberforce, in the month of December, and he continues to work away at you know, making that event happen in 2022. I will also, without naming names because it's too early to do so, but we have secured a major sponsor for the event, and as soon as, you know, COVID and stuff permits, you know, we'll make an announcement as soon as we can do it in a way that we can get a photo op and things like that. Under Parks Facility Services, you can see we had a couple major power outages from those windstorms that we had, and as a result, we had to run our generator for a number of hours on two different dates, on the 11th and the 16th. In terms of capital work updates, you can see that most of our projects that were scheduled for this year are done, other than the ones where we had supply chain challenges. And those will be finished off in the spring of 2022. Under program services, we wrapped up a few programs from our fall session, including our Cooking It Forward program. In terms of events, at last committee, I commented on the Santa Claus Parade and Christmas Craft Show that did very well. But I can report also that our New Year's Eve event, we had 3 festive skates planned. Each one was sold out. You know, staffs reported back to me that, you know, things went very, very well, and good attendance. People had a good time for, you know, for the limited event that we could provide. Under rental activity, you'll see that our hall is our main, it has been our main space for rental, just because of its size and the fact that it allows people to space themselves out when participating in their meetings or their activities. We've had a number of different rentals throughout the month. Christmas Angels, of course, happened on the 25th. Wasn't an indoor event as per last year, being through COVID, but certainly another successful event this year. And that's my activity report. Mr. Mayor, glad to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Open it up for questions and comments. Gary?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just on behalf of the employees of the library, just wanted to thank you, Kelly and Mark Reinhardt. They were very appreciative of you guys providing them with those top quality masks that they're now wearing when they're at work. So thank you very much for bringing those across to the library. The employees are much appreciating that. Thanks.
Okay, Father. Just a little comment on the Winter Games. The Winter Games normally takes 2 years planning. We were trying to shoehorn this into about a year and a bit. And even that year and a bit was through COVID, and it just got gradually worse. So there was more potential negative challenges with this, and that's why the games were canceled. The funding for the games, 1.3 million, is still in place and will be put in place going forward in 2023. And I'm quite positive that the County of Renfrew will put on one of the best Winter Games possible, but there were some challenges of potentially canceling. One group did cancel out, Woodsy or Wastsy or whatever that sport is, I'm not quite sure. So it's indoor soccer or something like that. But anyway, it was 300 participants. That was just but one. And there was a potential for others to cancel as well. So we got ahead of it and just decided to cancel that. But we made, when I say we, Peter Emon and Cindy Burwell were in touch with Lisa McLeod, and we are comfortable that we'll be able to put on a spectacular games in 2023. So that's sort of rationale behind it. So further on the report as a whole. Any comments? Nothing? Then I need a motion to accept Kelly's report. Gary, seconded by Matthew. If there's no questions, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed of any? It's carried. Thank you. With that, we go to finance and administration, and we call on Annette, please.
Okay, so you have before you the annual letter that we received from the town's auditors. And what it is just to advise you in regards to the audit that they will be completing for the 2021 year. It just sets out advising you that they will be at the end of the audit providing you with a report. It advises you that they will be during their audit. Some of the items they do is they test the town's controls. They look at the account balances and transaction flows of our transactions. As well, they look at focus on materiality of, and that is determined as being 2% of the expenses. They will be conducting the midterm audit, year-end audit in February of this year. It advises you who is on the audit team, and as well that they will be reporting directly to council, and that they are independent of council.
Thank you. Annette, any questions on the, is this an information item, or do you want a motion for this? A motion? We need a motion. Are there any questions, first of all? Then it's moved by Tom and second by James, and we accept the letter from Welch and Company. All in favor? It is carried. Thank you. Accounts payable. Are there any questions on the payables? Any comments or questions or concerns? Seeing none, I need a motion to pay the bills, please. Murray, seconded by. Okay. Matthew. All in favor? We're paying the bills. Thank you. It's carried. With that, we'll go to item number 3, which is the meeting schedule. I think it's the CEO's report. CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just at the outset, I would like to, not the way I wanted to start the year, but I have to actually admit that there is a mistake in this report. So I decided, at full disclosure, coming out and telling you, it's in the body of the report as opposed to the recommendation. So I will get to that shortly. Normally, we do come forward with a report to request that the meeting schedule be adjusted for summer, and you see the sections of the procedural bylaw that we reference for potentially June, July, and August, and generally speaking, we adjust for July and August, which you see. This year, a little different, 2022 being a municipal election year, so you will see that there is a proposed change rather for October, where we will actually hold meetings similar to the July and August schedule. The election is scheduled for October the 24th. So obviously we won't be having a meeting that evening. Also different in 2022 is the commencement of the new term of council, which traditionally would have been the 1st of December, is actually back 2 weeks and is actually starting on Tuesday, November the 15th. So we're proposing that the last council meeting of this term would be held on November the 7th. We would then have the inaugural meeting on Tuesday the 15th so that we can immediately start with the new term. Take a break for the following week and then come forward on the 28th of November with a super committee meeting, and then back to our usual consolidation of meetings in December, as we generally do. We generally remove that last meeting as it coincides with holidays. From the mistake perspective, I will just point you to the second last line on the report, which indicates that we'll resume our regular meetings on Monday, January the 9th. That should actually be the week before. And I did change it, but just didn't save it where I should have saved it. So it's actually Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, if we want to talk about 2023. But in any case, the adjustments are in the recommendation. The mistake is not.
So I think what we'll do with this, we'll have someone keep a note of all the errors that you make. That's one. Who would like to be the custodian of the errors the CEO makes? I see Tom wants to do it. Fine, thank you very much.
I already have a lengthy list, Bob.
You do? Perfect. So between the two of you, you can keep that there and see if the record is broken. Okay, any questions on the recommendation there? Seeing none, then I need a motion to accept this, please. Teresa, seconded by Gary. All in favor? That it is carried. Thank you. Then we will go to admin 01-2022. Don, please.
Mhm. Yes, thank you, Mayor Sweet. Can y'all hear me? Okay, very good. I just wanted to remind the public again about our winter parking restrictions are in effect. So there's no parking between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. and also when the plows are going to be out. So please don't park on the street, park in your driveway, ask a neighbor, borrow their driveway if you can. The other item is about placing your garbage during the winter. So again, garbage should be placed in your driveway, not out on the road where it's going to get hit by a plow, and ensure that you do have it out before 5 o'clock in the morning. If the collection truck has already gone by your street and you haven't put it out, they will not be coming back to do that. So again, you can put it out by 7 p.m. the night before, but it has to be there before 5 a.m. And I can answer any questions that council may have.
Thank you, Don. I noticed there's no errors on this report, Don. Good job. Questions of Don's report? Having seen none, I need a motion to accept the recommendation. Murray, seconded by James. All in favor? And it is carried. Thank you very much. Anything for general matters?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Anything for closed?
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Then I need a motion to adjourn, please. Moved by Gary, seconded by Matthew. All in favor? The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, Sean.